quiet symphony of coming home. There's a particular kind of quiet that only exists when you're truly home. Not the hollow silence of boredom, the kind that yawns and makes the clock tick louder. No, this is the quiet that settles into your bones, a deep, resonant hum of safety. It's the distant, steady thrum of the refrigerator in the next room, the soft, almost imperceptible click of the second hand on the kitchen clock, the faint rustle of leaves against the window pane. It's the moment you realize, with a profound sense of relief, that for this moment, right now, nobody needs you to be anywhere else. Not the office, not the party, not the endless stream of expectations. Just here, in this space, breathing. It's not loneliness, it's peace. A deep, unshakable peace that feels like coming up for air after being submerged for too long. And yet, I've noticed how often this feeling is misunderstood. People glance at someone who cherishes their time at home, who chooses a quiet evening over a crowded gathering, and they assume the worst. Antisocial, withdrawn, maybe even afraid, as if the very act of seeking refuge within four walls is a sign of something broken, something lacking. But for so many of us, and I count myself among them, home isn't a retreat from life. It's the one place where we can finally live. It's the sanctuary where the constant noise of comparison, the crushing weight of performance, the relentless pressure to be something for everyone else, it all falls away. Out there, in the whirlwind, we can lose ourselves completely. But here in the quiet, we find who we truly are again. We remember our own name. I think it often starts young. For me, it was the classroom, the school bus, the sheer overwhelming noise of the playground. Places that felt less like community and more like survival tests. You had to speak louder than the next kid just to be heard, to pretend with a smile that felt like a mask to be accepted, to perform happiness even when your insides felt like tangled wires. It was exhausting, a constant, low-grade hum of anxiety. So, like many sensitive souls, I built an inner world. A world that was softer, slower, infinitely more forgiving than the one outside. A world where I could breathe without feeling watched. That inner world, that refuge of the mind, became inextricably linked to the physical space of home. It wasn't just a building on a street, it became a sanctuary. A sacred space where the armor could finally come off. Psychologists talk about high sensitivity, a trait where the nervous system processes external stimuli more intensely. Bright lights feel almost painful, loud sounds are jarring assaults, and constant conversation can feel like a flood threatening to drown you. For those of us wired this way, the quiet of home isn't avoidance. It's not laziness or fear, it's balance. It's the nervous system whispering, finally, here, I can rest. Here, the noise stops. It's the physiological equivalent of taking a deep, cleansing breath after holding it for hours. But it goes deeper than just managing overstimulation. There's something almost sacred, deeply spiritual, about the quiet of home. It's the only place where we get to take off the mask. The social version of us, the one that smiles on command, knows exactly what to say at the right moment, laughs at the right jokes, constantly adjusts to fit in. That carefully constructed persona can finally dissolve when the door clicks shut behind us. And what's left? The raw, unfiltered core. The self that doesn't need to impress anyone. The self that just is. It's a strange, almost paradoxical feeling to be surrounded by people day, nodding and engaging, and still feel profoundly unseen. But the moment you're home, perhaps sitting by the window with a steaming cup of tea, watching the rain trace paths down the glass, that's when you finally feel visible to yourself. That's the quiet magic of solitude. It's not isolation, it's the deepest form of intimacy with your own soul. Our culture has a strange romance with extroversion. We celebrate the constant doers, the perpetual motion machines, the ones always out there posting, performing, chasing the next high. Silence is often treated with suspicion, as if it's a sign of something missing. Stillness is lazily equated with idleness, with lack of ambition. But there's a quiet, undeniable power in those who know how to be alone without feeling lonely. Because they've learned a fundamental truth: fulfillment isn't always found in the noise. Sometimes it's found in the pauses, in the space between the notes, in the gentle rhythm of the rain on the roof. There's an old saying that resonates deeply: if you don't go within, you go without. For those of us who find solace at home, going within isn't hiding. It's alignment. It's the essential process of sorting through the emotional debris collected during the day, of recovering from the sensory onslaught, of reconnecting with what feels real and true beneath the layers of performance. Think about it: when you're constantly surrounded by people, your identity starts to fragment. You become a different version of yourself for your boss, for your friends, for your family, for the person you pass on the street. You adapt, you shape-shift. But when you're home, you're the only audience that matters, the only one you need to satisfy. And in that space, the fragmented pieces slowly, gently, begin to reassemble. Of course, I'm not naive. There's a fine line between nourishing solitude and isolating withdrawal. Even the most home-loving soul needs genuine connection. But here's the beautiful paradox: those who cherish their time alone often cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships, not shallower ones. Because they don't waste precious energy on superficial interactions. They crave the kind of bond where silence isn't awkward, but comfortable, where you can sit with someone for hours, reading or just watching the world go by, and the absence of words isn't a void, but a presence. It's connection built on being, not on performance. It's the quiet understanding that you are seen exactly as you are in the stillness. When psychologists study intentional solitude, the kind chosen, not forced, they uncover fascinating patterns. People who spend meaningful time alone tend to score higher on measures of creativity and emotional intelligence. It's not that they're inherently smarter, it's that they've cultivated the space for reflection. They process their feelings instead of merely reacting to them. They observe their own thoughts instead of running from them. In that stillness, ideas coalesce. Clarity emerges like sunlight breaking through fog, and emotional wounds, the ones you've been carrying but couldn't address in the rush, begin to quietly, steadily heal. Think back to your own life. When did you have your most profound realizations? Your biggest aha moments? Chances are, it wasn't amidst the deafening roar of a crowded party or the frantic energy of a busy cafe. It was likely in the shower late at night, lying in bed before sleep claimed you, or during a solitary walk when the world felt hushed. That's the hidden power of staying home. It gives your mind the silence it desperately needs to finally speak clearly to you. Yet, for all its gifts, many of us who love staying home carry a quiet undercurrent of guilt. A persistent whisper that we're missing out. That life is happening somewhere else, brighter, louder, more significant, and we're failing to keep up. Social media amplifies this feeling tenfold. The endless scroll of curated highlight reels, exotic trips, laughing friends, picture-perfect parties can make the simple peace of home feel like a failure, like we're doing something wrong by choosing the quiet corner over the crowded room. But the truth, the quiet, unvarnished truth, is this: everyone is chasing peace. And for some of us, peace doesn't look like a crowded dance floor. Peace looks like the familiar creak of the floorboard by the window. Peace looks like the smell of coffee brewing in the morning silence. Peace looks like the comfort of knowing exactly where the good spoon is. It's deeply, fundamentally human to need a place to retreat, to pause, to reset. In ancient times, monks sought stillness in mountain caves. Today, we find it in bedrooms, reading nooks, or tiny apartments filled with the gentle hum of a fan and the soft glow of a lamp. The impulse is the same: the need to return to stillness after the chaos. Our home is the modern temple. The science behind this is profoundly comforting. When you're in your own space, your body enters what scientists call a low-threat environment. The constant vigilance required outside, scanning for social cues, managing impressions, anticipating potential stressors, can finally relax. Cortisol, the stress hormone that floods your system in challenging situations, begins to recede. Your heart rate slows. Your shoulders drop. That's why your thoughts often feel clear at home. That's why you might suddenly feel a wave of emotion wash over you. When you're alone, the guard drops, and all the feelings you've been holding back, the ones you suppressed to get through the day, finally rise to the surface. It's not weakness, it's healing disguised as quiet. It's your system releasing the pressure valve. I've heard the comments, the well-meaning but misplaced advice: you need to get out more, you're wasting your youth. What they don't understand is that staying home doesn't equate to doing nothing. Some of the most profound, transformative growth happens within these walls. The quiet revolutions of reading a book that shifts your perspective, journaling through a tangled emotion, dreaming up a new path while staring at the ceiling, or simply allowing your mind to wander without direction. These aren't idle moments, they're the essential work of becoming. And the people who love staying home aren't avoiding the world, they're preparing for it. They're recharging their spirit, rebuilding their resilience, gathering their strength. And when they do step outside, they often bring something rare and precious, calm energy. They don't add to the noise, they carry stillness like a gift into the chaos. Because once you've found peace in solitude, you stop searching for it in the storm. You stop demanding that others make you feel safe. You learn to carry home within you. There's also a deep psychological comfort found in the simple predictability of home. The human brain craves routine, it reduces anxiety. When you know exactly where the coffee mug is, when the light hits the floor at 3 p.m., when the familiar rhythm of your morning ritual unfolds, your nervous system settles. For someone who loves staying home, this predictability isn't monotony, it's emotional regulation. It's a silent promise whispered to your body: you are safe here. You know this space. You are known here. Every small ritual, lighting a specific candle, making the same morning coffee just so, the way you arrange the cushions becomes a tangible anchor, a way of signaling safety to the very core of your being. Yet, in a world obsessed with visible productivity, this kind of stillness feels quietly rebellious. We're conditioned to believe our worth is measured by our visibility, by our constant output, by the relentless pursuit of more. But those who find solace at home challenge this narrative. They prove, through their very existence, that meaning doesn't always erupt from motion. Sometimes it blooms in stillness. It's found in being rooted deeply enough to truly notice the delicate pattern of rain on the window, the slow unfurling of a new leaf on a houseplant, the profound satisfaction of thinking a thought all the way through without interruption. It's a slower kind of happiness, one that doesn't need an audience, doesn't need to be captured and shared to be valid. It simply is. And this is where the rich inner world flourishes. When you spend consistent time in solitude, your imagination isn't stifled, it blossoms. You begin to see connections others miss. You notice the poetry hidden in the ordinary, the way afternoon sunlight transforms a dusty corner into a stage for dancing motes, the intricate rhythm of distant city sounds, the profound comfort in the familiar weight of a well-loved blanket. There's a quiet, undeniable beauty in these moments. It's not loud or flashy, but it's deeply nourishing. Some people will never understand this contentment. To them, silence feels heavy, and solitude feels like punishment. But for those of us who love being home, silence isn't emptiness. It's a symphony. It's the sound of finally, truly being enough. Here lies a beautiful paradox. Those who cherish home are often labeled as detached or distant. But the truth is often the opposite. They feel life too deeply. Every conversation, every subtle shift in tone, every fleeting glance, it all registers. It leaves a mark. And when the world gets too loud, too demanding, too much, the instinct isn't to run from life, but to protect the sacred space of their own peace. It's not fear of others, it's profound care for the self. You can see it in the way a person treats their space. Some homes are sun-drenched, filled with the vibrant energy of plants, reaching for light, the air humming with gentle music. Others are dimmer, softer, wrapped in the comfort of deep blankets and the warm, grounding scent of coffee or beeswax candles. Each space becomes a mirror, a physical manifestation of the inner landscape. The quiet ones build warmth, the dreamers build comfort, the thinkers build order. And within those walls, they cultivate entire worlds, rich and complex, that no one else ever sees. The link between solitude and creativity is profound. When you spend significant time alone, free from the need to conform to group dynamics or social expectations, your thoughts unfold in their purest form. You stop thinking in public language, shaped by how others might perceive it. Instead, you think in your native language, the unfiltered, unjudged, authentic stream of your own mind. And that's where true originality is born. That's where empathy deepens, not from observing others, but from understanding the vast landscape within oneself. Think of the great writers, the visionary artists, the groundbreaking thinkers throughout history. Many weren't misanthropes, they were individuals who understood the necessity of space. Virginia Woolf famously wrote, "A woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction." But that truth resonates far beyond fiction. We all need that room, metaphorically or literally, a space where the outside world doesn't dictate our worth, where the noise can't drown out our inner voice. It's the space where we learn who we are, separate from the expectations of others. People who love staying home have learned a vital lesson: the outside world doesn't define them. They don't need the constant roar of the crowd to feel alive. They don't need the dopamine hit of external validation to know their inherent worth. Because when you spend enough time truly with yourself, you stop chasing the applause of others. You start building a peace that is unshakable because it comes from within, not from without. It's a peace no one can take away. Still, solitude isn't always easy. It can be deeply confronting. When the distractions fade and the external noise stops, the internal landscape becomes starkly visible. Thoughts grow louder. Feelings you've been avoiding surge forward. This is why solitude is often uncomfortable for those unaccustomed to it. The silence starts to reflect back the parts of themselves they've been running from. But those who choose to embrace that silence, to sit with it, learn something transformative. Peace isn't the absence of thought or feeling. It's the acceptance of them. It's learning to watch emotions arise and pass like clouds across the sky without needing to chase them away or cling to them. This is emotional maturity in its purest form. And psychology confirms it. Comfort with solitude is one of the strongest indicators of self-awareness. Those who can genuinely enjoy their own company possess a more stable, integrated sense of identity. They are less swayed by the tides of peer pressure, less dependent on external approval, and more guided by their own internal compass. Because when you've spent enough time in silence, you learn to distinguish your own voice from the chorus of everyone else's. That's how true wisdom takes root, in the quiet soil of self-reflection. Of course, it's not that people who love home never feel lonely. We do, but our loneliness often carries a different weight. It's not the hollow ache of emptiness, it's the deep, resonant longing for connection that feels real, not rushed or superficial. We'd often rather sit in the quiet of our own space than be surrounded by people who make us feel unseen, misunderstood, or forced to perform. This isn't arrogance, it's discernment. It's knowing the value of our own energy. And when we do find the right people, the connections we form are often profound, quiet, and enduring, because we give attention carefully, affection intentionally, and trust slowly. We don't waste ourselves on the surface, and that depth is what allows relationships to weather storms that might shatter more fragile bonds built on noise and performance. There's another layer, perhaps less discussed, that shapes this love for home. Sometimes, it's not just about preference, it's born from exhaustion. Exhaustion from being perpetually misunderstood. Exhaustion from the world demanding versions of ourselves that feel like ill-fitting costumes that drain our spirit. For many, home is the one place where the performance ends. It's not escapism, it's essential recovery. Psychologists call it emotional decompression. It's the visceral need to collapse onto the sofa the moment you walk through the door, to do absolutely nothing, to simply exist without the weight of expectation. That's your body, finally exhaling. You've been holding your breath all day, managing impressions, regulating your emotions, suppressing reactions that don't fit the mold. The moment the door closes, everything you've been holding so tightly just drops. That's not laziness. That's the body's profound, necessary act of healing. People who find solace at home often carry a heightened sensitivity to the emotional currents around them. We absorb moods like sponges. We notice the slight tightening around the eyes, the hesitation in a voice, the subtle shift in energy that most miss. It's a gift that fosters deep empathy, but it's also incredibly draining. So, we retreat, not to hide, but to restore our own reserves. And that retreat, that quiet replenishment, is what allows us to return to the world calmer, kinder, and clearer. It's the source of that quiet strength we bring back out. The more you explore this, the more you realize that loving home isn't just a preference, it's a fundamental personality rhythm. Some people are wired for external stimulation. They thrive on movement, interaction, the vibrant chaos of the world. Others, like me, are wired for introspection. We thrive on pattern rhythm, the deep peace of the inner world. Neither is superior. They are simply different ways of being human, different frequencies tuned to the same universal experience. But because society relentlessly praises constant motion, the quieter types often internalize the message that something is wrong with them. We feel like we're out of step, like we're missing the point. The truth is, we're simply tuned to a different frequency, and the world needs both. It needs the explorers and the observers, the ones who make the noise, and the ones who listen for the meaning hidden within it. Often it's the quiet listeners who help the world make sense of itself. They translate chaos into understanding, noise into narrative, distraction into depth. And that's why so many writers, philosophers, and artists feel most alive within their four walls. They're not escaping the world, they're striving to feel it more deeply, to distill its essence. They turn solitude into art, stillness into clarity, quiet into creation. Their homes become extensions of their minds, a physical canvas where every object, every corner, carries intention and memory. But even for those of us who aren't artists, the core psychology remains the same. Home is the space where we process life. It's where we sort through the emotions we couldn't express outside, where we untangle the knots of the day. It's where we return to ourselves after being too many versions of ourselves for too long. And that return, that homecoming to the core of who we are, is one of the most vital psychological needs we have. No matter how far we travel, how many faces we wear, the truth is everyone needs a safe place to land. A place where the armor can be shed, where the mask can be set aside, and we can simply be. For some, that place exists in the embrace of other people. For others, it exists in the embrace of silence, four familiar walls, and the warm glow of a single lamp. There's something sacred about those who choose stillness over spectacle. It takes a quiet courage to say no to the relentless noise, to step back from the endless, exhausting need to be seen, and to find profound value in invisibility. Because in that chosen invisibility, something extraordinary happens, authenticity returns. You start to live not to impress the world, but to express yourself. You begin to see life not as a competition to be won, but as a conversation to be had. And suddenly, the walls that once felt confining begin to feel like wings that allow you to soar inward, to explore the vast, uncharted territory of your own being. That's the secret psychology of people who love staying home. We're not escaping life. We're embracing it differently. We're noticing it, feeling it, honoring it at a slower, more resonant rhythm. We're not running away from the world, we're creating a version of it within our walls that feels humane, that feels real again. A version where the heart gets the space it needs to breathe. And when we do step outside, when we choose to engage, we bring something rare, that calm energy, that stillness. We don't add to the noise, we carry peace like a quiet gift. Because once you've found your center in solitude, you stop searching for it in chaos. You stop demanding that others make you feel at home. You learn to carry home inside you. So, if you're someone who finds your deepest peace within these walls, who feels that quiet hum of safety when the door clicks shut, don't apologize for it. Don't let the world convince you that peace is unproductive or that comfort is complacency. You are not missing out. You are tuning in. You are doing the essential inner work that most people are too busy, too distracted to even notice. And that work, quiet as it seems, is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Because when the world feels uncertain, when people are desperately searching for meaning in the glare of the spotlight, it's often the quiet ones who have already found it. Not in crowds or noise, but in the gentle rhythm of ordinary days, in the warmth of morning light spilling across the floor, in the soft hush of evening rain, in the steady, reassuring sound of your own heartbeat resonating in the stillness of a room that finally, completely, feels like yours. The home isn't just a building. It's a reflection of peace earned, not given. It's a sanctuary built brick by brick out of patience, presence, and the courage to be authentically yourself. It's where you meet yourself again and again, in the quiet moments, until one day you realize with startling clarity you were never really alone. You were just coming home to yourself. Sometimes, the world assumes that staying home means you've given up on life. But often, it means you've finally stopped running from yourself. There's a strange, deep peace that comes when the pressure to chase every invitation, every trend, every promise of fun that only delivers exhaustion, finally falls away. You begin to understand that joy doesn't need an audience. The most profound moments often happen in complete silence, the sound of rain on the window, the comforting aroma of something baking, the way the afternoon light moves in slow, golden patterns across the floor. You start noticing the details you used to race past, the calming rhythm of your heartbeat when the outside world feels distant, the small satisfaction of doing something at your own pace, the way your mind finally opens when it's not constantly fighting for space in the noise of others. It's not isolation. It's a reunion with your own mind, a homecoming to the quiet symphony of your own being. And in that sacred space, the constant whisper of guilt, the echo of a world that glorifies visibility begins to fade, replaced by the quiet, unshakable certainty that this peace, this stillness, is exactly where you are meant to be. The rain starts again, a soft percussion against the glass. I pull my sweater tighter, watching the droplets chase each other down the pane. This quiet moment, just the sigh of the wind, the steady drumming, the warmth of my mug in my hands isn't empty. It's full of the kind of peace that only settles when you stop chasing the noise, when you finally stop running from yourself. For so long, I thought stillness was surrender, that choosing the quiet corner over the crowded room meant I'd given up on life. But here, in the hush of my own space, I've discovered something else entirely. It's not isolation. It's a homecoming. The moment I stopped forcing myself to be seen, to be everywhere, to prove I was having fun even when I was utterly spent, a strange, deep calm seeped in. The pressure to chase every invitation, every trend, every promise of joy that only left me drained it just dissolved. And in its place, something tender emerged. Joy, I learned, doesn't need an audience. The most profound moments often arrive in silence. The smell of bread rising in the oven, warm and comforting. The way the afternoon light, just before 4, paints slow, golden patterns across the worn rug. The simple, grounding rhythm of my own heartbeat when the outside world feels distant. These are the details I used to race past, eyes fixed on the next thing, the next person, the next demand. Now, I see them, I feel them, and in that noticing, my mind finally opens. It's not fighting for space in the noise anymore. It's resting, breathing. It's easy to feel a flicker of guilt, isn't it? Living in a world that equates visibility with value, where if you're not posting, not out, not constantly participating in the collective rush, you must be fading away. The whispers come, aren't you lonely? Don't you miss out? But what if fading from their eyes is how you finally come back into focus for yourself? What if quiet living isn't disappearing, but simply existing, without the exhausting performance of being who the world expects you to be? At home, in this sanctuary of my own making, solitude transforms. It's not the absence of connection, it's the reset button that makes real connection possible. I've learned that not every friendship needs daily updates. Not every dream needs an audience. And not every single day needs to be productive to be deeply meaningful. There's a quiet beauty in the invisible life, the progress no one claps for, the moments of pure presence that only you can feel, the small victories that exist solely within the walls of your own heart. This is where the magic happens. When you choose stillness over spectacle, you're not escaping life. You're embracing it differently. You're feeling it, honoring it, at a slower, truer rhythm. You're noticing the texture of ordinary days, the warmth of morning light on your skin, the soft hush of evening rain, the steady pulse of your own life within you. You begin to live not to impress, but to express. Life stops being a competition and starts feeling like a conversation with yourself first, and something extraordinary blooms in that invisibility, authenticity. You remember who you are when no one is watching. The walls that once felt confining, they become wings. They hold the space where your truest self can stretch, breathe, and finally be seen not by the world, but by you. You meet yourself again and again in the quiet, and one day, you realize you were never really alone. You were just coming home. This sacred space, this home, it's more than 4 walls. It's a reflection of peace earned, not given. Built slowly, patiently, with presence and the courage to be authentic. It's where the constant echo of guilt, one that says you must be seen to be alive, finally fades. Replaced by the quiet, unshakable certainty that this stillness, this deep breath, is exactly where you are meant to be. Because when you find peace in solitude, you stop searching for it in chaos. You stop demanding that others make you feel safe, feel worthy. You carry home inside you. And when you do step outside, you bring something rare, calm energy. You don't add to the noise. You carry the stillness like a gift, a quiet anchor in a swirling sea. You've learned that joy isn't found in the frantic chase, it's in the gentle rhythm of being fully present. So if you, too, feel the pull of the quiet room, the comfort of your own four walls, the deep peace of rain on the window, don't apologize for it. Don't let the world convince you that peace is unproductive or that comfort is complacency. You're not missing out. You're tuning in. You're doing the inner work most people are too busy to notice. This quiet work, seemingly small, often unseen, is the foundation for everything else. It shapes how you see the world, how you connect, how you live. When the world feels uncertain, when people are frantically searching for meaning, it's often the quiet ones who've already found it. Not in crowds, not in the spotlight, but right here. In the ordinary magic of a still moment. In the sound of your own heartbeat, steady and sure, in the room that finally, truly feels like yours. That's the secret, I think. The people who love staying home. They're not running from life. They're walking toward it slowly, intentionally, without the noise. They're rediscovering what it means to simply be. Not to achieve, not to impress, but to feel. To exist in the quiet space where the heart gets to breathe. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is nothing at all. Just sit quietly in your own company, in the warm light of your own truth, and realize finally, completely, that at last you are enough. You are always enough. The journey home was just remembering how to listen.